Our lead story tonight, the race for Colorado's brand new congressional district, District 8.
It's also considered to be one of the most competitive districts with a high number of unaffiliated voters and the largest Latino population in our state. So to give you some context here, Colorado's 8th congressional district was created because of Colorado's growing population. The entire redistricting process to set up the boundaries for District 8 took about 3 years to become a reality.
So this new district stretches from North Denver up into Greeley. It includes parts of Weld, Adams, and Larimer counties. According to the 2020 census, District 8 is 40% Latino. That is the largest percentage of any of our congressional districts. So now to the two candidates vying to be the first to represent the 8th.
And they are Republican State Senator Barbara Kirkmeyer and Democratic State Representative Yadira Caraveo. And if elected, Caraveo would be the first Latina elected to Congress from Colorado.
And today, Denver 7's Megan Lopez sat down with both, going in depth on what they hope to accomplish.
We're sitting here with State Representative Yadira Caraveo. She is a candidate for the 8th Congressional District.
Barb Kirkmeyer running for Congressional District 8.
First, we want to know what they'd bring to Congress as a freshman lawmaker in a new district.
I'm a fourth-generation Coloradoan, grew up on a dairy farm, come from some pretty modest background. So having that voice for those Coloradoans, those people who work in that industry, having that voice in Washington, D.C., I think would be huge.
It would be a new voice for Colorado. I would be the first Latina elected to Congress from Colorado. Also the first doctor from Colorado.
You're representing, we were talking about the 8th Congressional District, one of the largest populations of Hispanic people that we've seen in any district. So what would you do, to make sure that you are not only listening to their voice now during the campaign season, but bringing that voice to Congress?
I grew up in an immigrant family. I've been part of the Latino community here from the moment that I was born in Denver. It's a community that I have been fighting for a very long time. And that I will continue to fight for as their Congresswoman.
I'm going to treat them the same way I treat everyone else in the district. Their concerns, whether it's Hispanic or non-Hispanic, are still the same. It's about inflation. It's about how much does it cost me to fill up my gas tank.
On abortion, neither candidate says they support an all-out ban, but they couldn't be more different.
What I support is a woman's ability to have those discussions, to make those decisions with her family, with her healthcare provider, without the interference of government.
I am in support of a 15-week ban. So after 15 weeks, that abortion would be banned.
Are there any exceptions when it comes to after that 15 weeks, if it came to, an unfortunate choice between, the mother and the baby?
Absolutely.
On the economy, Kirkmeyer blames Democrats for overspending the last 2 years.
We have a spending problem. We need to stop spending.
We also pressed her on Republican spending.
So President Trump added nearly $7.8 trillion to the national debt during his time in office. It's nearly twice as much as what Americans owe on student loans, on cars, on every major debt except for mortgages. Are you willing to take on your Republican cohorts to make sure that spending is going the way that you think it should be going?
Absolutely. So, and let me just be clear also on this. So the Republicans in Congress have made a pledge. I'm supporting that commitment to America. It's about economic freedom. It's about making sure, again, that we balance our budget, that we cut spending, that we quit putting such huge debt. Not another trillion here, another trillion there.
Republicans, meanwhile, have criticized Democrats for major spending and the Inflation Reduction Act. We asked Caraveo to go on the record about supporting that measure.
I think there were a lot of really great parts of the Inflation Reduction Act, in particular the focus on costs for families. One with the energy issues that it focused on, making sure that we're lowering the cost of energy. The issues, the parts of the bill that dealt with healthcare in particular were huge.
Yadira Caraveo. Barb Kirkmeyer, thank you so much for joining us.